Okay, so nobody's getting the truth from the mainstream media, folks. It's well past time to open your eyes, your ears, and your mind. Do your own research because something isn't right here. And if you can't see that, you are not paying attention, folks.
It's the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order. A world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations.
So let's look at each one of these and see how we can get this down to zero. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. Now that's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look. First, we've got population. The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
The important message that we need Australians to get vaccinated as quickly as possible. In line with that, I do encourage all Australians to please go and book your vaccinations as soon as you can if you haven't already done so.
Emma, get away!
When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Okay, we need to stand up against this tyranny, folks. Stop giving away your freedoms and liberties, because the more you give up, the more these people will take until you have absolutely nothing left. That's their agenda. All right, good evening, family. How you going? Through to another Wednesday, guys. It's just getting better and better, isn't it? Right, Project Matilda, guys, got to give it a blast again. All right, get over there. If you're not over there, go and buy a Daniel a coffee, and let's keep this Australian-owned platform up and running, people. It's our responsibility. And if we go from Facebook, you're going to all want it, all right, there or Rumble or wherever. But, yeah, we should be backing Daniel first, I think. Just a couple of interesting things that are going on, guys. Metricon, big, number one biggest home builder in Australia, sort of not bad market. You know what I mean? Me and Mel done some work on them for actually up in Maitland. And my son, used to go up there and do a bit of work for a mate of mine. And, pretty big, guys, pretty big. Well, guess what? They sold out 51%, I think, for 200 mil. All right, and to the Chinese. So it is, they've cancelled all their contract fixed price housing. So they're another building company, guys, big one. All right, going down. Okay, so in the last, week or so, we've lost $2 trillion off the markets. There's a lot going on. Someone who is making money, but funnily enough, I'll tell you someone who's going great out of all this is friggin' Lockheed Martin. Have a look at them. See whether they're not traveling all right. We all know who Lockheed Martin is, guys. I don't have to explain that for any of you people who are new to the show. You need to look up and see what Lockheed Martin do. Yeah, love wars. That's what they do. They love wars. Anyway, guys, a few things going on. It's let's just have a look what's going on out in our little mainstream. So we need to be very careful because we've got the deadliest infectious disease of all time. All right. And guess what it is, guys? It's tuberculosis. So, again, they're just flooding you with everything they can get at you. So tuberculosis is now the big killer. And, while these MPs are doing whatever they want and, letting the media get away with this crap that they're putting out there, like I just showed you, here we are. We've got the Queensland MPs using taxpayer funded allowances to pay for the billboards for themselves on the side of the road. I'm talking these big billboards, guys. Now, how much do you think they're worth, them things? Have a look into it. Okay. Me and Mel have looked into it once, or I've looked into it once, or somewhere back a long time ago, and it was astronomical. Maybe when I had Tumbletown. But yeah, astronomical, guys. So here you go. Taxpayers are paying for their little facade on the street sides. Now, Just Eat. All right, this is from Metro, but yeah, Just Eat urges, and I just found this funny. It's even hard to read it. Just Eat issues urgent do not eat warning over hundreds of food products. So, the scare factor, guys, that's what's on out there. Not that anyone should be eating takeaways and using, these delivery services, etc., that are, Just Eat, etc., but some people are. Now, I think we've got this on the show, so I'm just going to drop that. But, it's police officers did not enjoy enforcing strict lockdown laws. Well, guess what, guys? We got news for you, and I'm pretty sure we do have that clip that's going to come into the show, guys. And Mick Fuller's on there. Good old Mick Fuller, the New South Wales ex-police commissioner. So, that'll be interesting.
There it is.
Sex therapy. Oh, you're putting it up now?
Yeah.
I can't see that screen.
Okay, well, Caz has got it up.
All right, Caz, wait till I come back to you for a minute. There you go. So we'll put that on in the show, guys, I pretty well presume. So, they've knocked a few things off the NDIS revamp, and these being Reiki, shamanic healing, yoga therapy, wilderness therapy, hypnotherapy, life coaches, and last but not least, cuddle therapy. So that, NDIS, biggest scam that's ever been put out there, guys. Now, I just found this was funny. Maybe some people need to look into this, but this is down in Victoria, and it's a popular childcare chain collapsing at a funny time, even though, we are under stress. But the name of it, guys, that's what got me. And I'm not, no insinuations here. Okay, these people could be lovely people. Precious Cargo. That's the name of the chain that went down. I just found that, in today's day and age, Precious Cargo. Hope they're beautiful people, and probably are. All right, so doctors warn that another cancer is rising at double speed in the young. Okay, so again, guys, this is an American cancer study, but it's all happening around the world in every country. But we can tell them exactly what's going on, guys, can't we? Not hard at all to work it out. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist. We do it here every night. All right, Cazza, come on in, darling.
Oh,
Yep.
there I am. All right, we got heaps of news. All right, let's kick it off with our Aussie boy, Assange. He was delivering a speech at the EU, and the key takeaways were that two wolves in MAGA hats under President Trump tried to have him assassinated and targeted his 6-month-old for the DNA. They were told to get DNA from the baby's nappy. How bad is that? Those two were, he named them, Mike Pompeo, when he was head of the CIA, and William Barr. Very interesting.
Very interesting. It's all a big, it's all a big show out there, guys. But look what's going on there. We'll get our Assange experts onto it. Is this Julian? Is Julian really married? Is that Julian's wife? You know what I mean? Is Julian just a CIA asset? Are we all getting psyop? These are the questions that run around your head, guys. All right. But anyway, let's see. He's out now and he's around. So we get a bit more of a look at him now, Caz, anyway, because he's not in the closet now. We could never get a look at him before.
Yeah. All right. So David Limbrick, he's basically fighting censorship and free speech.
All around the world, governments are implementing new restrictions on speech, and all around the world, libertarians are leading the fight against them. And Victoria has a new fight on its hands. The long-awaited anti-vilification laws are currently going through their third round of consultation. If you'd like to make a submission, you've got until October 11th. They're planning on new criminal offences for inciting severe ridicule or serious contempt against various groups of people. And this is really serious stuff. You can go to jail for 3 years for ridicule. And the government's definition of public conduct is so broad that it includes private property. Does that include your backyard barbecue? And how weird's this? They want to include behaviour that incites hatred or other serious emotions. And the government's actions incite serious emotions in me all the time. If you want to join the fight to defend free speech, then come along this Saturday, 11 a.m. to Flagstaff Gardens. I'll see you there.
All right, so they're having their rally as well. Now, you also got to remember...
Hang on, good on them, but a disclaimer here from Guru, I do not support the Libertarian Party, okay? We are just letting you know what's going on. We are a news show.
All right. Now, Nicola Charles, she's basically succinctly put this together.
Albo did it. The Labour government in Australia went to America and has signed the UN Pact for the Future, One World Governance, the control of misinformation and disinformation, which means they should all be immediately removed as bureaucrats because they are the greatest arbiters of it, with no public consultation, with no referendum. And I am asking you, Australia, I am asking you, Victoria, get me to the Federal Senate and we will rip that thing to shreds shortly before it goes in the bin.
Okay, now if I was in her state, I would be backing her. Okay, I'm just saying, guys. I think that she's, she's another one that'll get in there and have a go, So we got to try and replace these cretins that are in there, and you've got to replace them with something and somebody. I'm not saying you should vote, you shouldn't vote. All right, to me, voting is illegal. All right, it's all, it's part of a system. It's part of the corrupt beast. But, we have to do whatever we've got to do, guys, to work our way throughout this system to actually take it back. So whatever that is, we got to use the enemy. Yeah. So use its own, itself against them. Yep.
That's it. All right, so look, we've got some vaccine injury news now. This girl, we reported on her originally. Her father has posted that she's returned the corner. She's starting to heal, but her injuries were horrific, and she needed absolute specialists in every single area. So that's really awesome. Now, also,
what else is done to her, Cazz? Cazz, what else is done to her butt? That's just the superficial. Not superficial. Right. Sorry, that's just the external injuries. What's been done to that poor little girl's body?
The reason we get those skin conditions is because the body's trying to clean up. The liver's trying to push it out through the skin. All right, so you've got this situation where this 38-year-old lady from Western Australia, the doctors are absolutely baffled, absolutely baffled. So. They really don't understand how she's got such severe injuries and what she's just had and how it came on so suddenly. It's amazing how they're just absolutely baffled everywhere.
Is that lady baffled? I can't read that. So she's actually baffled at why she's got all these injuries.
No, she's got she had the vaccines, and then suddenly the doctors are baffled with her injuries. It's incredible. So now you're actually seeing this because there's been a rise in HIV cases among heterosexual men and women, with 30% surge in the last 2 years. Now,
understanding HIV, research Fauci. There you go. One for the normies. Research Fauci if you want to understand HIV. Carry on, Cazz.
No, that's right. And the other thing is that the BC put out that documentary at least 2 years ago. Might have even been 3 or 4 years ago, where they were talking about how the vaccine had a spike that was a HIV spike grafted into it. So, we said this from the beginning. It was VAIDS. The normies don't understand because they went, some of them went and had a HIV test, or they didn't get sick. It wasn't meant to. The onset of the conditions weren't meant to come straight away. It was meant to be delayed. It's just that the vaccine misfired, and that's why you had all of these situations with people dropping dead and things like that in the first instances. So it's now like we're into our 4th or 5th year. This is when it's meant to kick in. So this is when you'll start seeing more like the HIV, AIDS, and the things like that.
Turbo cancer, pericarditis, pericarditis, myocarditis. The list goes on, guys. Liver, kidney. Clots,
That's right. So, guys, it is Vaccine Awareness Month. So, basically, anything you can do to promote that so that people are becoming aware.
We want Forests of the Fallen everywhere. Vaccine Injury Month. Come on, guys, for 4 weeks. Let's do it. Let's get these Forests of the Fallens out everywhere we can get them. That would be my suggestion.
Very good. And another one who's baffled. Oh my goodness! Or at least he's having a go now. So yeah, Ben Fordham. He's got his hands on some explosive data. It reveals the number of people in New South Wales going to hospital with chest pain. There was a 52% jump from 2019 to 2021. It's just, I mean,
we could have kept that at 10% if someone had took my phone call.
It's baffling, isn't it, Dave?
It is baffling. Anyway.
All right. So we have so many reports from Helene that I've cut together these clips. So just to make it short.
This is horrific, guys. This
right
is absolutely
now,
horrific what's happening in America.
That's North Carolina over there. I'm in Tennessee, and I just read and saw a video where they said that people and their whole beings were laying all over the ground, and the smell was like horrific, and nobody can get in there. Nobody's going over there. What is going on? Why isn't the government helping? This is worse than anybody even expected or even knows, because none of the news channels are even reporting on this except for like TikTok. That's it.
The looting has picked up major steam. I was advised yesterday by a county sheriff to make sure that anybody out and about is carrying, and in his words, carrying with the safety off. There are very aggressive people out there, and I'm just going to go ahead and say this. It's not because they're necessarily awful. They're desperate. Desperate people do desperate things, y'all. And why are they desperate? Because there's no water in some of these communities. We have neighbors in North Carolina with no water. And all I can say is this: the government ain't coming to save you. Not now, not ever, because they don't care about you, the people, anymore.
That's a coffin, guys.
At least 6 impact factory workers have lost their lives and more are missing after they were allegedly told that they would be fired if they left work during the hurricane.
Why'd you make us work that day? Why? We shouldn't have worked. We shouldn't have been there. None of us should have been there.
Family members say that their loved ones never got word that they were allowed to leave and that they were told that the management was monitoring the situation. Some of the workers' relatives got frantic video phone calls as the flood swelled around impact plastics. Some employees were able to leave the industrial park using a truck owned by a neighboring company driven by a driver employed by that company. But due to the quickly rising water, the truck tipped over and 5 employees and a contractor aboard the truck went missing.
With everything with the UN and everything is going, the ink ain't even dry. It's not dry. Takes a couple days. One more catalyst. Shelves go empty over this strike. If that goes down, you stop feeding the illegal. Stop giving out all that free money. I'm not trying to fearmonger. I'm not trying to scare you. Remember this: chance prefers a prepared mind. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And if it ain't loaded, what is it, people? It's a fucking hammer. I'm just telling you the writing on the wall. Not trying to fearmonger you in any way. But if you'll take 30 seconds, step outside and look at all of this, see if you don't see the perfect storm.
So, if I could pick up and run 20 of them goddamn loads a day, I'm going to run 20 loads a day. So hang on, North Carolina. Hang on, Georgia.
Are coming.
Hang on, Alabama, and all y'all that got affected, because we'll be on the way.
No help from anywhere else. And then we've got the chopper. Have a look at this, guys, and we're going to play this in its entirety. It's only about 2.5 minutes, guys, 2 minutes, but listen to this.
You want to go back out and try to help today, and
his response was, "There's so many messages, I don't think we can't not go help."
Sidham and his son were headed up to Black Mountain. Flight tracking shows no flight restrictions in place Saturday or Sunday morning when Sidham flew through the Lake Lure Gap. But that was all about to change. The Sidham spotted an older couple waving for help, then landed in what's left of their driveway.
Hey, I want you to let me get in. You step out and go out, help her in, put her bag in the back, get her strapped in. I'm going to take her down, come back. I'll take him, I'll come back, and then I'll get you, okay?
I originally left my son, co-pilot, on the side of the mountain. It was kind of unstable, so I didn't want to put more weight in the helicopter to lift back off. So I left my son with the other victim, and I was just going to take one person down at the time. And you could hear me in the video talking through with the victims and with my son what we were going to do.
3 minutes away, Sidham spotted a group of rescuers just down the river. He landed and found someone in charge.
Told him my background experience, law enforcement, firefighting, pilot. He immediately started helping with coordination. He gave me radio frequencies to coordinate with them on, set up a landing area for me to come back with the other victim. And in the middle of the whole conversation and then blocking the road off, I was greeted by the, at that time I didn't know, but Lake Lure fire chief or assistant chief maybe, and he shut down the whole operation. So at that point I felt like the conversation wasn't going any further. And again, he asked me to leave, and I said, hey, I have no problem getting out of your area. If that's what you want us to do, we'll leave, no issue. At that point, I asked him, what was the reason I had to leave them there, and he said, again, you're interfering with my operation. I just need you to get out of the area. I said, sir, I don't know where you were trained at, but I know how my training is, and I'm not going to leave personnel behind. I'm going back to get my co-pilot. He said, if you turn around and go back up the mountain, you're going to be arrested. I said, well, sir, I'm going back to get my co-pilot. I don't know what to tell you. And he said, I'm letting you know. And at that point, he waved for 2 law enforcement officers to come over and told me that again, if I go back up the mountain, I would be arrested.
He flew the 3-minute trip back, picked up his son, and left the woman's husband behind.
Sure, he was flooded with emotions and trying to rescue other people, and I just felt that it was best at the time to leave. So I did follow his instructions, and I had a conversation with the female victim before I left, apologizing and explaining. She was standing there. She heard the whole conversation, and they were both very, very surprised, very upset. The husband, as I was leaving off of the side of the mountain, at that point, separated from his wife. He was upset. I can only imagine.
Sidham and his nearly 1,400 flight hours turned his chopper around and headed back to South Carolina, passing people waving for help along the way.
As I was actually leaving to go back to get my son, the original chief or captain that I spoke to, his crew and himself, they came back over and said, hey man, we can't tell you to go get the victim. We can't even ask you to go get the victim, but we can tell you if you come back with the victim, we'll have you a designated landing spot, and they won't. We'll make sure they don't come over here.
So there was no flight restriction when you went in?
No flight restriction when I went in. It went in place 20 or 30 minutes after the confrontation with Mr.
You feel like that was coincidental, or do you think that was because of what happened?
I don't think it can be coincidental when there has not been one in place the day before doing rescue operations, the night of, the morning of, that took place after our altercation. I think there would have never been a TFR put in place had we not had that conversation. If I had to do it over again, I would have stopped and I would have rescued as many people until they decided they were going to arrest me.
Well, for now, we've chosen not to name that Lake Lure fire official because communications in and out of that town are still difficult. We want to include his side in this story, and if and when he responds to our messages, we will include that. The good news is I saw a video of a Coast Guard helicopter landing in Lake Lure this morning, so hopefully some of those mountain rescues are underway today.
How involved is it, guys, when the fire chief is coming down to stop a guy? He's just got his wife out. He's had to go back, pick up his son, leave the husband up there on the mountain that's collapsing. Like, are you kidding? Them guys are on there and they've been made famous. All right, and this is what we got to do. This is bullshit, man. But I'm telling you, this is very well instigated by the deep state. This is where they're driving us to, guys. This is what they want to do. All right, they want to break you. All right. They want to break you. And this is the means that they will go to. All right, this is how infiltrated they are, that they can just, have things like that go on. It'll come out later. But would that be the only source of stopping help going in there? No. You watch what starts to happen in the next couple of days with the truckers and that. Something, there'll be guys that have been stopped. It's incredible. They need our prayers, guys. That was horrific what happened over there. I saw a whole house coming down a river, and then it just hit a jetty or something and just crumbled. It was like wild. Like, 1 in 1,000 years, I reckon. Deep state instigated, deep state, perpetrated. All by design, guys.
Well, the other news in the States as well is that Tim Willis debated with Vance. So the VPs had a debate. The key takeaway of this is basically this statement here.
Previously opposed an assault weapons ban, but only later in your political career did you change your position. Why?
Yeah, I sat in that office with those San Diego parents. I've become friends with school shooters. I've seen it.
Friends with school shooters. In no time at all, Trump put this out. Trump and Vance, 24, not friends with school shooters.
Oh, man.
Other T-Man news. Now, remember Mark Cuban? Well, he went on a show called The Benefactor, or he started a show called The Benefactor. Trump wrote in this. He goes, "Dear Mark, I'm truly sorry to hear that the show has been cancelled for lack of ratings. When I initially called you to congratulate you on The Benefactor, little did you or I realise how disastrous and embarrassing it would turn out for you. If you ever decide to do another show, please call me. I will be happy to lend a helping hand."
Taking the piss out of yourself. That's beautiful. All you can do is laugh at the moment. Boy, you can't. Yeah. Do a lot more than laugh, but I mean, you got to do a bit of laughing to get through this thing, man. This is it's getting pretty horrific now. It's getting pretty crazy. They're not going to get any help there in North Carolina, guys, except for off the people off the ground. Whole towns are just wiped out, man. Absolutely wiped out. I've seen lakes just full of timber and like the whole lake's disappeared. All right, just gone. Like it just, yeah, wow. 10 years. One guy said. Or years or something. I don't know if it could have been 10, it may not be, but yeah, to clean this mess up. I think he said 10 years. That's how bad. 1 in 1,000 years. That's the type of flood they're saying. Unbelievable.
The other big news is that the other people who are involved in the Diddy are about to be named in the whole Diddy situation, and it must be huge because we've had more CEOs stepping down, which we'll get to in a moment. But also, Kim Clement also prophesies this.
Secret in the
and we do know about the lithium up there too, guys, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of things.
We covered the lithium yesterday.
Yeah. The secret at all has finally been revealed to the world. The wall of silence has now been broken, and victims are coming forward. Our team has had at this point more than 3,285 individuals contact us, with people claiming to have been victimized by Sean Combs. After vetting, we now represent 120 individuals who intend to bring civil claims in civil court against Sean Diddy Combs, as well as claims against many other individuals and entities that we will name as defendants as we file these individual cases.
All right, so now you've got that. You've also got basically Diddy's accused of abusing a 9-year-old boy and spiking drinks with horse tranquilizer as 120 victims come forward. And we don't know if it's in relation to that, but you've also had these CEOs step down today. So we've had a massive amount, but even today, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 CEOs stepped down just today alone, which is huge. The interesting thing about this is somebody's found a prophecy by Kim Clement.
Even though I block my nose and want to spew them out of my mouth, the stench that has come from the White House. You hear what God just said? Even so, because of my elect, even because of my elect will I protect, says the Lord. This is a very big prophetic alert. I want you to listen. Their names will be scrolled out. 1, 2, 3, 10, 20 of them at a time as they are exposed.
Mm.
They are being exposed.
TJ, yeah, TD Jakes, the smiling assassin. You know, there's a whole list of them, guys, that are going to come undone. Then we're going to go through the sports industry. Hollywood's going to fall apart. Well, Hollywood's already fallen apart. Now we're going to pick up the pieces and everyone's running for cover. But, yeah, going to be all we just want justice. That's what we want. Now they're exposed. Now we want justice, you know, and that's what us people have got to push for.
That's it. In relation to that, though, we've also had this situation where Operation FAFO leads to over 100 arrests in major human trafficking and prostitution sting. 2 juveniles were basically arrested. So that was at Sacramento County. So it's going on pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, but not high enough up the rank for me. You know, all the low levels are going, you know, yeah, but I mean, we want to see these, you know. Yeah, although we've been told Diddy's going for life, so let's just see what happens, I suppose. But, yeah, now we've got Opera going down and, you know, it's all happening, you know. Old Johnny's already gone before. So, yeah, it's, you know, all their friends are just corrupt. It's a big club, guys, huge club.
It
but
is
guess
interesting,
what?
isn't
Slowly
it?
it's been taken out. Yep.
It is interesting. All right. So in European news, there's a couple of things. So what's happened is Marine Le Pen has gone on trial in France for allegedly misusing EU money. So if convicted, she faces 10 years jail and a 10-year ban from public office. Le Pen is leading in every poll ahead of the 2027 French presidential election. So now also it's interesting to note that in Julian Assange's address to the EU, he actually outlined that CIA had infiltrated the French politics, the French political system. So that is very interesting. Also, Eva, her last name I can't pronounce, she's reporting that their former Prime Minister, Mark Rutte, is now head of NATO. So listen to this.
Our former prime minister of over 10 years who single-handedly ruined the country by flooding it with immigrants, destroying our economy, and the same guy who came after our farmers, he just got appointed as the Secretary General of NATO. And of course, we have been warning about this for a long time because Mark Rutte essentially bought his position into NATO. He was spending billions and billions of euros, our taxpayers' euros, on Ukraine, was seen constantly hugging with Zelensky, and now just a few months after he's no longer the prime minister, he has been appointed Secretary General of NATO. This man has not even been in office one day, and he already said that Ukraine should be part of NATO.
And Ukraine's irreversible path to membership. And we must sustain this support into the future, because Ukraine's rightful place is in NATO.
So after ruining our entire country, he is now dead set on dragging all of you guys into World War III and just ruining it for everyone.
They are getting their puppets into place. You can see that.
Yeah, it's on. Yeah, they are. They're making their moves. You know, I do believe we're making our moves, you know, and that is to get this exposure out there. Hang on, guys.
All right, well, Dave can't talk. I'll bring in Bex Flyers.
Events. If you are near one of these locations, we encourage you to get down there and show your support. First up, we've got Mondays at Maggie's from 11 a.m, Macquarie Street, Sydney at the Governor's. Also still going strong is at the Governor's in Canberra, meet at the National Rock Gardens at 10 a.m. every day. Every Saturday at Little Burley Markets in Canberra from 8 a.m. till 2 p.m, Forest of the Fallen. Daily Prayer Space with Melissa held over on X at 3 p.m. Monday to Friday. On October 3rd, Parent Forum, a common sense approach to safeguarding our children. Scan to register below. It's an online thing with Celine Against the Machine and Craig Cole and others. On 4th of October, Dr. Valerie Peers, Call Out for Support. at the Supreme Court Victoria. Stay tuned on Jackie Dundee's page for updates. Also on Friday, 4th of October at 12 p.m, a Leave Our Kids Alone rally at the Treasury Gardens Treasury Place in Melbourne with Craig Cole. On 5th of October, which is Saturday at 12 p.m, 20 Spring Street, East Melbourne, Old Treasury Building, Justice for the People Public Information Rally. That's in Melbourne. Again, on Saturday, 5th of October at 11 a.m. to 2 p.m, Free Speech Rally in Melbourne at Flagstaff Gardens with Jordan Ditloff, David Limbrick, Warren Pickering, amongst other speakers. On Tuesday, 8th of October at 8:30 p.m, I'll be doing a Beyond the Deceptions episode with Craig Cole from Leave Our Kids Alone. Get an update on his events in New South Wales. Again, on Tuesday, October 8th at 10 a.m. till 11:30 a.m, Vaccine Injury Awareness Month event, protest of ending the COVID-19 vaccine compensation scheme. That's in Canberra at Australian Parliament House. They'll have a Forest of the Fallen as well as speakers aiming to raise awareness. Also coming up in New South Wales, Craig Cole will be doing a tour for Leave Our Kids Alone events as well as Team Warrior Spirit Time to Rise events. That ranges from 14th of October, Monday, to Saturday, the 19th of October. There has been some location changes, I think. I will update you guys as soon as I know the details. Last but not least, I just want to make everybody aware that October is Vaccine Injury Awareness Month. Get out there, do some Forest of the Fallens, have those conversations, and make sure that they have a voice still. Whether they're injured or passed away, they deserve to have a voice. So raise some awareness.
Excellent, Beck. Thank you. Yeah, there's none this Saturday at Canberra, so if someone can help out in Canberra, guys, see if we can get one there. But yeah, back to NATO. Look, these guys are so when that car come past with the crackle tune. Yeah, these guys are mounting up their last. They're in checkmate, I believe, but they're mounting up their last defense. You know what I mean? So yeah, this move is strategic, guys. This guy's a nutter. Okay, and he does not care. Now, they bring Ukraine into NATO, all right, and this has got nothing to do with us. This is where we got to stand firm, guys, all right? We are not part of the North Treaty, all right, North Atlantic Treaty. We are not part of it. So when they come to wanting our kids to go to war, we got to argue black and blue that this ain't happening, and we got to stand up like we stood up for the no vote and other things, all right, because we are not part. You've seen what come out. Anyway, carry on, Caz. Let's get the show going. Yeah, I'll do that in the wrap out.
No, I'm just having a quick look at what happened to Jens Stoltenberg as the Secretary of the UN, but I'll have to look that up afterwards. All right, so now on that, let's have a listen to this because they're just basically trying to rev things up everywhere.
With the press secretary and also Secretary Mayorkas and the National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, and the crux of it was that just because nobody is known to be killed from the ballistic missile attack in Israel does not mean that the United States government is taking this lightly.
This is a significant escalation by Iran, a significant event, and it is equally significant that we were able to step up with Israel and create a situation in which no one was killed in this attack in Israel so far as we know at this time. We are now going to look at what the appropriate next steps are to secure first and foremost American interests and then to promote stability to the maximum extent possible as we go forward.
It has been well documented over the last couple months that President Biden and Vice President Harris have put out the word publicly to the Ayatollah in Iran, don't. And now we know that the Ayatollah does not listen to them. We also know that since President Biden took office, his administration several times has unfrozen accounts that add up to billions of dollars of Iranian money for the Iranian government to have access to. They have said that that is for humanitarian reasons, and they are insisting today that they still have the most muscular posture possible towards Iran.
We have not lifted any.
You believe it?
It is unbelievable. In other words, subtext being, in other words, Biden and Harris paid for that attack. Yeah. So, well, that's my takeaway on it anyway.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Unreal. Exactly right. Release the money. Like, it's just unreal, guys. All right. And, and I can see why the normal person can't get around their head around this. All right, the you know, the normie for office street, you know, that's watching the mainstream media, you know, because it's you know, it's actually the American corporation, right, and Israel that are actually behind everything, absolutely everything, right, from Iran to Hezbollah to, you know, it's just like, guys, it's the biggest, you know, setup, and they rule everything from the top. You know, it just depends on which way they want to go, but they are going to try their best to create as much havoc as they can to drag us into, and now that takes into account bringing Ukraine into NATO. Well, wow, they're going for broke, guys. That's what that tells me. Yeah.
All right. So these are just some cool things that have been happening around the traps. Basically, this is Dave Bradley said, Liberals, if we could just jail Trump, get rid of MAGA, end the Electoral College, stack the Supreme Court, ban voter ID, and censor free speech, we could save democracy. And it's true. This is their thinking. Kamala Harris tweeted, Donald Trump was handed $400 million on a silver platter and then filed for bankruptcy 6 times. Seamus has responded, you were handed $42 billion to expand broadband and you didn't connect a single person to the internet. I don't care if Trump lost his own money, you lost mine. And of course, the Trump tweeted today, or retweeted, no, it was actually Twitter. Okay, let's go. We're getting ready to go. And of course, you've got the Q drops there. And one of them is for the owls, good hunting. So very interesting. So it looks like the green light has been given through the coding system or decodes.
Yeah.
All right. Look, the video of this that police chief, it didn't come up, so I'm just going to have to bring the story in with it. There was a video. It looks like it may have been removed, actually. So Dave was talking about earlier, challenging time police officers did not enjoy enforcing strict lockdowns. A lot of people did not enjoy any part, says Mr. Fuller. So there you go. It was a challenging time. Like, it's just crazy. But anyway, so the video should be there, but it's actually
they're
not
going
there,
for the sympathy vote, guys. All right, they're going for the sympathy vote, and Fuller's trying to like save face. All right, these guys, no amnesty for these guys. We all know it. You know, they got a lot of making up to do, looking after us public, right, and sorting out this government for us if they want any retribution from us, man, for sure. Like, they sold us out.
They did. All right, so we're being taken out by a collaboration between Sim Kardashian and Matt Lawson. Sorry, hold the line and some music video. So Dave, if you want to wrap up, I'll press play.
Yeah, Tony Price just put the verse in there, guys. Actually, it was brilliant. You know, God can't. Here it is. God wants no fence sitters. All right, did I come here to give peace on earth? Tell you nay, but rather division. All right, so we know it's on, guys. It's about saving yourself. And how do you do that? You can get rid of that now if you want to. You just do that in truth, guys. All right, we all know that verse. All right, you do that in truth. You stand in truth. All right, and you do not get budged from it. All right, you know, like even down to not seeing your dad on his birthday when he's on his deathbed because I refuse to put a mask on. That's how much I'll stand in my truth, guys. All right, and I'm trying to be the example. I didn't do that because I'm trying to be an example and everyone be a freaking hero. I done that because why? Because that's my belief. I will not bow one knee to this friggin' devil's agenda. And that's the way it is. Right, and we've just watched it again from last night, guys. Right, I said to you, go and watch Carl's show. Last night, the White Rabbit's got the same info, all right, and she's put out a little thing on it, on the same thing. Now, it's French Island, down off Phillip Island, you know what I mean, where there was a penal colony down there from, it finished in 75, I think, yeah. Anyway, 66, I don't know, 16. Might have been 1916 until 75. But it's funny how the Nugan Bank, if you listen to Colonel Towner, all right, and I was talking to her the other day with this information, and as I said to you last night, she was pretty blown out about it, right? But, yeah, the Nugan Bank, you know, what happened, these guys going over at the same time that it's going on with Bob Hawke, and we're taking the Governor General out. Margaret Thatcher's passing it through on a Sunday over there. Guys, they've found some really compelling information. Now, This is more facts that we've got on our side, all right? Just more of the bullshit they've done. The Hansard documents should never, ever be removed from the archives, all right? But they were removed, all right? And they were put down here on French Island, okay? So there's a lot of stuff that's gone on, guys, all right? And we need to expose it all. So it's great that, you know, the White Rabbit's got onto the same info. She's gotten it out, all right? And everyone is getting it out there, right? Because this is big. Now, are they going to listen to us? Probably not. All right, but it's just more evidence that we can put out there to the public people, right, and get around this platform that we use, these platforms that we are on, about this misinformation from our government, right, and representation from us of the truth, right? We don't misinformation, we don't disinformate, and they know it, and that's why they're so hot on it, guys. But yeah, I don't know what's happening with the bill. Francis is the best one to get the updates on. Have you heard anything, Caz? I heard, you know, I'm hearing it's never going to get through Parliament. The Greens and the Independents aren't going for it. Then I've heard it's getting passed through the lower house. You know, I don't really know what to believe, guys. I haven't got the time to, yeah.
I don't know. We'll look into that for tomorrow night. But let's get, we're already over time. Let's get this wrapped up.
All right, that's it. I've been kicked out, guys. All right, have a great Wednesday evening. Yeah, have a great Thursday tomorrow. And remember, it is Awareness Month, so let's get this Forest of the Fallen out there, guys, everywhere. That is our best marketing tool. And everyone that's doing it, all you people that are involved in it out there, absolutely brilliant. All right, thanks, guys. Good night.
Brick by brick, trust was torn away by greed and lust, by jealousy and hate, until the divide was just too wide to cross. People suffered death, heartache, and loss. On the horizon came a blinding light, and came others with their arms open wide. Hold the line, you're not lost. They're trying to break down all of us. Hold the line, just make a stand. You're stronger than you know, the world in your hand. And that's the sacred soul slowly walking lost. They met with understanding of their hurt and loss. They look back at a life they did not accept, and vowed to never ever fall asleep again. And the others struggling with the cost. They would build a bridge, bring them all across. Hold the line, you're not lost. They're trying to break down all of us. Hold the line, just make a stand. You're stronger than you know, the world in your hands. Hold the line. They're trying to break down all of us. Hold the line. Hold the line. Hold the line.
They want us divided. They want us labeling each other. They want us to call us anti-this and anti-that, the pig, the sheep. Drop the labels now.